Okay, so here we are. Before you know it, it's the end of November, and quite a lot has changed since the last garden tour. This week we've had quite a few frosts, we've had high winds, so yeah, a lot has changed, and I just thought it'd be useful for you to see the transition. Here we go. Okay, so the Wildflower Patch under the apple tree, I have managed to pull out a load of things. There is signs of bulbs appearing, believe it or not. There we go. But yeah, it's a little bit tidy. I've pulled out the annuals, I've left the perennials in. It's not designed to be a fancy little cutting patch anyway, but I'm going to mulch it with a load of pile of leaves, put down cardboard where there are some bare patches, ready to plant up some hardy annuals. Okay, so starting from the top, here's the apple mint, which I will cut back in January probably, and I'm going to make sure that I have a path going down the middle of them. I'm going to give them a bit more space as well. They've been in for about 4 or 5 years now, so they just need a little bit of space. So finally got round to weeding around the foxgloves. So they have been hammered a little bit by the frost because they're actually quite mature looking plants, because we had such a mild autumn and then wham, we had that frost. So as usual, not a lot down here. I have planted a few bulbs just for myself, bit of a tidy up. And let's have a look in the greenhouse. Actually, I'm a bit dreading this. I haven't looked for several days. Ooh. Let's have a look. So I haven't actually had a look for several days. So in here we have got the Ranunculus, which have mainly been potted on. So the Ranunculus are looking pretty good. And some anemones sprouted. I'll come back to the others in a minute. We've got some larkspur that's all been potted on. We've got some nigella down there. More nigella, more larkspur. That larkspur probably, let's have a look. Is it ready to? Oh no, that's nigella. I do tell a lie. So yeah, that's ready to put on now, or plant out, one or the other. Okay, so what I am a bit disappointed about is my anemone, which have not sprouted, and I have a feeling I overwatered them. So hey ho, we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fairly short garden tour today because there isn't an awful lot to show you. We've managed to have a good clear out of the main herbaceous border there. The Dahlias, which wasn't supposed to flower now, but is flowering now, again got a bit hit by the frost. I wasn't expecting it to do this, to flower. It's supposed to not be flowering till the spring. I have managed to get my EnviroMesh on most of the things that have got plants underneath them. So we've got cornflower, we've got corn cockle, we've got phacelia, we've got sweet william, and we've got an empty bed. And then on the other side we've got sweet william, another bed that needs clearing, another bed that needs clearing, more sweet william, and then there's the Dahlias again. We pan around. Still haven't dealt with my arch yet. The cobia looks like it has not enjoyed the frost, which does not surprise me. Let's have a closer look. Oh yeah, looking distinctly sad. It's not liked the frost. Okay, so on the other side we should have some direct sown nigella in there. There we are. That's nigella. That's Nigella. So there's 3 rows in there. There's obviously quite a few weeds. This bed has got some of last year's Ranunculus, and I'm going to be, still haven't planted up this year's yet. We've got another bed of corncockle. Snapdragons need clearing. And I'll go in reverse order up the back here. So the zinnias have been taken out, nothing in there yet. Had a good old mulch. Mulched all the zinnias, chopped them all up, should I say. Okay, so the Ami is looking enormous, but yeah, we've had a week of frosts and it's looking okay. This sweet rocket, again looking okay. Whoops, there we go. And the Rudbeckia, I haven't taken it out yet, and summer's still going sort of strong. I just want to see what happens, whether this is actually going to overwinter. It's supposed to be, potentially, could act as a perennial, but we will see. Beautiful Sahara there. Little scan through the herbaceous border. You can actually see what there is there now, and I kind of dug up a few plants to move them in here. So I've got some false fennel, I think, or dill, some echium. I might just pop those in. Okay, let's go down the middle. So the allium bed has been cleared of all the greater quaking grass that had self-seeded apart from around the edge. I've planted my tulips over here. So I've got 3 or 4 different varieties. Some there aren't many. But yeah, I've just got 1 bed of tulips. I don't want to overdo the tulips. The honesty, whoops, the enviromesh has managed to blow off. But yeah, honesty's looking good, looking enormous. And then still some clearing. The raspberries need to be sorted out as well, the autumn raspberries. We've managed to clear quite a lot of the perennials. I haven't managed to divide that many. Got some hardy annuals here ready to go in. They've been out in all that frost. Oh, there's some pink campion. I just want to get this weekend over because I've got some workshops, my wreath making workshops this weekend. I just need to get that out of the way, then I'll be able to concentrate on the garden a bit more as well. Okay, so yeah, just managed to clear a lot of the perennials. And the greenhouse, neglected greenhouse, I literally haven't looked in here all week. The door's been open as well with the frosts, but just shows that they can survive. So we have got, they just need some water, I think. Well, maybe not, because that's maybe why they did survive. They've been neglected, so they're not too wet to get the frost. Snapdragons there, Snapdragons, Cynoglossum, we've got some, clary sage, cornflower, larkspur, I believe, more cornflower, some snapdragon. These were plugs that came from a growing friend of mine, Cotswold Posy Patch, and we have some Dahlias, I do believe, which I think came from Cotswold Posy Patch too. Yet to clear the rest of it. I've taken lots of cuttings of the pelargonium because that will probably not survive the winter, but we'll see. Okay, not an area that I normally show you, but I just wanted to give you a bit of an idea what the mulcher does for us. Chops up all those plants I've finished with into tiny little bits, which means that it's all going to compost an awful lot quicker. So we've still got tons to do, which we haven't even cut down yet, but it just means that my 3 little compost bays aren't going to fill up drastically quickly. I think that's the next bed to spread. It's looking pretty good. And you may have noticed the work in progress, my snazzy new greenhouse. We're putting it together ourselves, so it's as and when we have a chance to do it and when the weather is kind. So we're not going to have another go, I don't think, until next week. But yeah, I'm so excited. It's going to make a big difference to me just having that big space in there. Let me show you. So it's not been glazed yet, and I'm going to have 2 beds down either side. So yeah, very snazzy. And my shed is up there. So let's have a look at the dahlias. Okay, so everything looking incredibly black, which it will do because of all the frosts. So this month, hopefully, when I have a bit more time, everything has been labelled. Fortunately, I did that before the frost started, so I know what is where. And I've had some manure dumped in the garden from the neighbouring farmer, so I'm going to be mulching the dahlias, pulling all these annuals out, chopping them all up, and covering them over with the mulch and with a tarpaulin, just to give them a bit of a tuck them up in bed almost. Sunflowers obviously completely past it. So yeah, there we have it. A very different scene at this time of year. Okay, so that is the end of the end of November garden tour. So there'll be one more to go at the end of December, and then that's a whole year's worth. I can't believe it. So I haven't had a chance myself to look back over the full 11 months so far. It's soon to be 12 months. So yeah, I hope you are enjoying seeing the transition from January all the way through the lovely summer months to November, and have a bit more of an appreciation of the work that's going in to a cut flower plot. Until next time, bye.